President.
Thank you very much. I don't know what changes were going to be made, because we announced that the GTU will go into the office of the President, and that all those who were members of the GTU are no longer members of the GTU, and extended the invitation to the Chair and the Secretary of Provinces to constitute the GTU. That is with regard to the changing of positions in relation to governance in the EFF. Internally, we said even then, the position of Deputy President will not be filled because we are going to an NPA. So the NPA will elect the Deputy President according to the current constitution of the EFF. There is a position of Deputy President. I don't know, I have not seen it in the constitutional amendment discussion that position of Deputy President must be done away with. But those who are advocating for that, this is the right time to argue their case, because with regard to this discussions document, we are going to accept written submissions from anyone who has got a bright idea, any suggestion you think can constitute a very good resolutions for the EFF. You are more than welcome to make that position. Well, Doctor has been talking to the DA and has been flirting with the DA. That's why I told you there's nothing we can do about that. When the ANC province has lost control of its own regions, it shows that the ANC is in serious crisis, in a self-destruction mode, where regions of the ANC report national to Mbalula, where Mbalula undermines the ANC province and communicate directly with regions and meet them somewhere there in some hotel in that suburb next to in Sandton, and then plot the downfall of the provincial leadership of the ANC. It's their own internal problem. And factionalists like Doctor, who are challenged politically, ideologically, and otherwise, when they see such a vacuum, they will not waste time to grab such an opportunity and emerge. Who would have thought Doctor can work against Panyaza? Because Doctor and Panyaza were inseparable. But those are politics. There's nothing you can do about it. Doctor is engaged in open defiance of Panyaza's leadership, and to an extent engaged in caucuses that seeks to remove Panyaza and all of that. So because of that relationship we have with the ANC in Ikuruleni and everywhere else, and national to a particular extent, we can't throw our toys. We are in a coalition. We have not won any power. In the coalition, you negotiate every day for the next 5 years. Every day. Today you are in, tomorrow you are out. Did you see how mayors gets changed here? You wake up today, there's a new mayor, you can't even pronounce the name. As you are still practicing the name and mastering it, the guy is gone. That one of Joburg. Guamanda. 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 When we grab the name, gone. And then what? It's coalitions by their own nature. They are unstable, especially if they find people who are not matured to know that no one has won power. Because I told the ANC when I met with them, Panyaza and some of the leadership of the ANC, I said, every day in the province, in the municipalities, every day when you wake up, put it in your mind that you have lost power. Because you still want to operate like you've got power. And in the desperation to hang into power, they are even prepared to sleep with a strategic enemy. So this is just power mongering. There is no principle at all. And it's a lie that if you insource, the banks lose confidence in you. Why didn't they lose confidence in Mashaba when he insourced here in Johannesburg? Why didn't they lose confidence in us when we passed the resolution in Ikuruleni that we are going to insource? There must be an investigation on how we can go about it. Ikuruleni never lost any support of the banks. Again, Swart Khafar. And it's not shocking coming from Freedom Front, because Freedom Front is a direct product of apartheid. They are the direct beneficiaries of apartheid. They are the designers of Swart Khafar. Because Freedom Front will say to people, if black people take over, they are going to kill white people. That's what they used to advocate for. So they are good with a lie. And we're not shocked they're saying the thing. There is any motion, any insourcing that is going to drive away the banks. That's why we're talking about the establishment of state banks, so that when the commercial ones threaten to walk out, the state bank must walk in. Because we're not going to be dictated to by capitalist white-owned banks in South Africa. We must refuse that. We support the ANC leadership in Gauteng, and we don't do that in exchange for positions. The ANC nationally has made it very clear to them, you can go anywhere except the EFF. And they said, okay, we can go anywhere except EFF or MK, that's fine, but we're not going to DA. We're choosing to stay out with other small parties out of that GNU arrangement. That is a fair thing. When I met President Ramaphosa, I proposed that. I said, if you have a problem with going with the EFF, please don't go with the DA. Go alone and constitute a minority government. Exactly what Gauteng did, but they did it after. It was before even Gauteng did it. I said to President Ramaphosa, we've got 40%. Mapantiti have got this percent. This one has got that percent. You put together those percentages, you are still at the right position to can make decisions, because we will not support the DA in Parliament. Even when we are in disagreement with you, we will not vote with the DA, we'll rather abstain. And if we abstain, you make it through in Parliament. So Ramaphosa didn't need the DA at all. But he decided to go with the DA. So, at the center of this, I don't understand what Mbalula ate from who. Because the guy has changed. No one, the people who grew up with him, not a single person can identify the Mbalula who's speaking today. Who's addressing us every week like a presenter of Pala Pala FM. He's always pete, saying a lot of nothing. Every week, there's a week where he addressed us the whole week. The whole week. So, why is Mbalula defending GNU even more than the person who came with the GNU, Ramaphosa? I mean, Ramaphosa is very reasonable about it. Mbalula is not reasonable about it. You speak against it, you will get a letter. What are you saying? When you arrive there, Ramaphosa says, hey, what are you doing here? Say, no, I'm called here. Say, there's no explanation. No, you are released, man. I don't understand what this guy is talking about. He is more GNU, more than the person who came. The person who came with this thing is Ramaphosa. Mbalula is the main man to date. He has overtaken the founder of the GNU. I'm very scared of that gem. It has changed the man. The man has changed completely. A sellout of notes, always ready to destroy his own in defense of white supremacists. to an extent that Mbalula agrees to put his signature on that agreement, which is a sold-out agreement, sell-out agreement. The historical account will be that Mbalula is the one who signed off our country back into the hands of white people. Ordinarily, such an agreement should be signed by a president. But Ramaphosa made a calculated move that I'm not going to go into this historic document, which is a sellout position. It was Mandela at Codesa who took de Klerk toe for toe. It was not Secretary General. It was Mandela and de Klerk like this. Today, when this is a complete sellout, they say, no, save the president, let this one come. Matriculous, let him come and sign what he doesn't know. And then Helen reminds him every day. But Mbalula, read. The problem is that you don't read. That is not what the agreement says. He's relying on verbal utterances. He has never read the thing. But he signed it. So, if Gauteng comes to us and say, guys, let's talk, let's come together, we're more than willing to talk to them. Phala case, we told you Phala will never die. It will never die. Even if it dies in the Constitutional Court, it shall be revived in Parliament. When Ramaphosa gets removed as the president of the ANC, the new president will not be interested in that thing. Will say, no, but this is what you need to do. Ramaphosa's day in court is coming with an independent NPA, with an objective parliament, with a parliament that is constituted the way we are constituting this parliament now. Phala can pass. And Ramaphosa gets to be impeached, because you can be impeached even when you have left the office and followed up with criminal charges. So Phala will never die. We have not eaten anything from Phala people. That's why we have carried it. Helen has eaten. She supported the motion with John Steenhuisen in Parliament after eating the agriculture post, swallowed it. Now they've made a U-turn on Phala. We are going to court about Phala. Because our argument with Phala is that once the panel says you move this way, Parliament has got no any other option except to follow what the panel says. The panel never said he's guilty. It just said there is a prima facie, and therefore you have to investigate if these things are true or not. But there is an impeachable case. And that's why we're pursuing this matter. Because the former Chief Justice, Ngobo, said, we're going. This is a correct direction to take. It's not us, politicians. It's not us, politicians. It's the former Chief Justice who said, there is an impeachable case, let the man come and answer for himself. Let those judges of the Constitutional Court go and disagree with their former Chief Justice. In Mogale City, we are in a coalition. We don't agree with tenders, but they are tendering every day. The policy of the EFF that we don't want tenders. But we are not in power. We are negotiating with the people in Mogale City. Guys, let's build the state capacity and do away with this thing of tenders. So the question is going to be, because you don't want tenders and these people are tendering, what are you going to do? We are there fighting that struggle every day. That's what coalition means. The same goes to the land auction. We don't agree with the land auction. We are saying the land must be given to our people free of charge. And anyone who auctions the land knows very well who is the highest bidder. Because there will never be one amongst us who can be the highest bidder against these people. So you actually want to give it to white people, but we are giving it to them through a back door and calling it an auction. I don't know about Prasa. We'll follow up. I didn't know there's such a thing. After this, we'll make a follow up, and because if that is the case, we'll attend to it. Staying off, you are quite correct. Pastor Ray Macaulay passed away. 4:05 was reporting outside his home or outside his church or something immediately. But that crook of staying off, Bargman, the one that they said he died, committed suicide, Josta, they just said he died. There was no camera of 4:05, 4:03. SABC outside his home to see people who are bringing condolences like you do with all the high-profile people. Why was that not done? Asia Akhudaman. He's still alive, that guy. And you've got the brief. You are part of the brief. That's why you did. Why didn't you go and report outside that guy's house? Is that guy of staying off? Is that guy of Busasa? A poor man, a rich guy dies in a poor man's car. You believe that? You believe that he went to bump into some bridge and he died? You have never put a camera outside his house. And even if he stays in an estate SG, they stand outside the gate of the estate. You have never done that with all these white crooks. Never. And you want us to believe. When I say they've made me, an EFF, the face of corruption, I mean us black people. They've made us the face of corruption. Any white person is not corrupt. Now, Josta dies. All of a sudden, people are pleading guilty. There's no trial. Why these people didn't plead guilty then? No, they want to be pretending like they are doing something about this matter. There's nothing being done about this matter because it's a white crime. A white crime is covered. There's a cover-up for it in South Africa. So you are right. The media is to be blamed as well. I challenge you even today, go and show us where this guy stays of staying off. Go and put a camera outside his house. Today, we see the people who are sending condolences to Pastor Ray Macaulay. We are going to see the people who are visiting the house. We are going to have interviews outside the houses of Pastor Ray Macaulay because it's an honorable man. You don't have to cover him. God has covered him a long time ago. Doesn't need your cover. So, when were we going to know where Pravin stays if he had not died? Because we never knew where Pravin stays. But you were broadcasting from outside Pravin's house. You even showed us luxurious hash carrying Pravin's coffin. Imagine if that coffin, that luxurious hash was carrying Malema's coffin. The amount was going to be calculated and we're going to be told how many poor people are going to be fed by Malema's coffin. But when such things are done by your favorites, in life and in death, you defend them. You never write any nonsense about them. We are being attacked in life and even in death. So, we still want to see where the staying off guy stays. We support the please call me case. We've made calls several times for Vodacom to settle this matter. And we know it's going before the courts. We may have to mobilize society behind. It's a just cause. It's a just cause to support. And I like the suggestion that perhaps Parliament must take a decision, which is a motion that we can sponsor, to suspend usage of Vodacom by members of Parliament in protest and in support of the please call me guy. I have a meeting tomorrow with Lekau, the owner of DRIP. I want to understand what is going on. I want a minute detail of what is really going on, because at a face value, DRIP is doing well. And it was a growing brand found in many other shopping complexes. But we will not know the internal usages of monies and all of that. Why is there no business rescue? We just go to liquidation. Why is there no saving? Where is Patrice Motsepe when we need him? If he's indeed a successful black billionaire, where is he? When a young entrepreneur with such a promising future is going down. My brother, you can't compare us with those AfriForum things and what is this other one? Solidarity. Shema, even if I ask all EFF members to put together their last cent, they won't rescue the RIP. It needs 20 million. How much? 20 million. Won't get it. We're struggling now to get money for our own NPA. Imagine you saving the RIP. When you say you're going to save the RIP, another member of the EFF, what about us in the sheikhs here? You're taking the money to your friends. So, DRIP is worth saving. So let's hear the story and let's make calls. And the people who are going to intervene, they can take over the finances of DRIP until they stabilize, recover their money, and hand them over back to DRIP. So I'm unable to make a call now. But after those discussions, we'll issue a statement and say, okay, this is what we think can happen. Because more than Lekau, we're concerned about those workers. Ordinary workers who work in those shops. Their families are going to go hungry. And this is the problem with the economy of South Africa. Telkom is going to retrench. They have issued out a circular. It's going to retrench. That company of coal, of Bramike, not Svanye, Seriti, is retrenching. Post office is retrenching. There's no area where there's no retrenchment. But we are told GNU is working. Show me in which area are the jobs being created. Because I only see jobs being retrenched, workers being retrenched. I only see jobs being lost. And I can tell you where the jobs are being lost. If you argue that the GNU is working, show me where they are hiring people today. Show me. You can't call those things of hiring people in their offices employment. The economy of South Africa as we speak today is retrenching. Under the GNU, hey, there is confidence of the GNU, there is investor confidence, but there is retrenchment. And we support AMCU, and it's the only union that has stood up to fight for those coal mine workers against it. We support them, and we are watching that process very closely, because we very soon will enter the space on the streets in solidarity with the workers. So please stop lying to us and saying there are jobs being created. There are no jobs being created. There is no investor confidence, because the investor confidence must industrialize, must produce jobs, must develop infrastructure. Where is massive infrastructural development in South Africa? 100 days has passed of the GNU. Show me what they've done in 100 days. Mbalula says, people said load shedding, it will come back after elections, wara. We solved load shedding. They solved load shedding in the 6th administration. It was not solved by this. There was never a load shedding when the 7th administration was introduced. It was stopped before. So they must not claim the victories of the 6th administration. They didn't stop load shedding. It was stopped then. Of course, we didn't believe it was genuine. We still don't believe it's genuine. But the GNU didn't stop load shedding. The GNU didn't create anything positive for our people. Nothing in the 100 days. So what are you talking about? There's nothing that a black man and a black child can point and say, these are the benefits of government of national unity. DRIP is closing down today, liquidated, under GNU. Under GNU. You say GNU is working. What's the land useless? Huh? What she knows is factionalism of Eastern Cape and corruption of her and Oscar Mawian and all of them. Why is Stella not rescuing DRIP in protection of all these people? Why is there no state bank that will put money to protect small business, including black-owned? If it's DRIP today, Batu is following, Tepo Jeans is following, and were projected as failures as black people. That's how they want to perpetuate the narrative by making us to fail. When they fail, they are being rescued. There is always a rescue for them. But when it's a black-owned firm or company, there's no rescue. I'm not being racist or anything. The facts are there to speak for themselves. You see, the only crime I've committed, SG, in this country and why I'm the most hated person is because I just tell you the truth, the way it is, and you don't want to hear it. That's why if you don't want to hear the truth, just switch off the press conference of the EFF, because you're going to hate us more for exposing the truth. We are about the truth, and will never shy away from telling the truth. We are not about political maneuvering and political position mongering. We are not about that. We are about protecting the vulnerable, the children, the women, the African masses of our people who are under attack from white supremacists who want to perpetuate white dominance of our economy. And that will never agree. And that's what we are fighting about. So all the ground forces must ready themselves. We're going to an NPA, and that was all this conference was about. The discussion documents are there. Let's engage in intellectual engagements and not distort the discussion. If you have a different view, express it. We hope Sunday Times will give us space to express our opinion pieces, as they always do, and City Press. Actually, I'm shocked that of late, Sunday Times is more amenable than City Press. It used to be City Press, because Sunday Times, even these days, can have an article strongly opposed to Ramaphosa. I'm like, hey, what's happening here? What is Tepo doing with that institution? It looks like something is coming there. So let's engage. We're going to write articles about these documents, summarize them, send them to the newspapers, talk about them. We'll line up interviews with all of you. There's no one who's going to be denied interview except 4-3. 4-3 is the opportunity now to come and apologize to the NPA. It has been 5 years now. And after we left them, they never grew. They are declining. That's the power of the EFF. Once it goes the other way, the viewership goes down. So they want to grow the viewership. This is a right opportune moment. They must come and apologize to the NPA, because that's where they made a mistake. They've never walked out of a press conference of apartheid, which killed our people. What was the justification to walk out of the EFF press conference? There was none except racist reasons. And they knew that that was a platform where the truth is going to be spoken, and they walked out of the truth. They must come back to the truth, swallow their pride, and apologize. They will get an interview immediately after the apology. Thank you.